All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. I hope everybody had a lovely day, by the way. I might as well say that to start the video off with. Let's get into it, guys. Throughout this video, we are going to be covering SPY, QQQ, IWM, DIA, and then Mr. VIX. And then we're going to jump into a few of the big boys. Then we'll cover some Bitcoin and Bitcoin stocks, then the chips, and then I got a few trade ideas that they're beginning to launch. So I think you're going to be rather excited with what we got at the end of the video. There will be timestamps down below if you would like to skip throughout the video. Let's dive into it. First things first, we did get what we were looking for yesterday. In yesterday's video, we did say, all right, pullback. If it was going to happen, you're either going to get buyers stepping in right here, or you're going to get buyers stepping in right here. All right, if they did defend the previous all-time high, and now we do have a hammer candlestick going into tomorrow. Now, coming down to the 15-minute time frame, I'm going to point out you just had this breakout from this downtrend here. You can also go a little like this, and you got a little fallen wedge slash bull pennant going on, break and retest off the top of that, and it does look like you are going to be going higher into tomorrow. Now, I will remind everyone, we got non-farm payrolls coming out tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that will ultimately be determining where we go. If those are bad, guess what? This thing's probably not going to end up playing out. But hey, I'm just going to take my shot here, and I'm going to say, hey, charts typically do predict the news, and I think we're going to be bullish on that catalyst. That's just a prediction. Okay, so that's that. But quite frankly, guys, let's come over here. Quite frankly, I do think this thing looks like it wants to explode higher, and that is just how I am seeing this chart. You do not have to see the charts the same way I do. We all have our own opinions, and that is that. All right, but if you were going to retrace this move, you are currently right here in the golden pocket. So there's also something to note. But then again, guys, we are very likely going to get a gap up or a gap down tomorrow. And again, I think that is probably going to be a gap up. That's that. Moving on to QQQ. Starting with the daily time frame, you did not pull back to the previous all-time high. You ended up putting in a hammer candlestick, which honestly, guys, I know we got the catalyst, but you know, under normal circumstances, you got the pullback off of declining volume over here on QQ, just like you did on SPY. You put in the hammer just like you did on SPY, and I do think we are going higher off of that. Under normal circumstances, that is not something that is necessarily bearish. That is not something that leads to immediate downside. Now, coming down to the 15-minute time frame, I am going to point out, all right, you burned through your 15-minute bearish divergence, so we don't have that. We also did the same this morning over there on SPY, which does lead me to believe, guys, we're probably going up for another high. I told you guys, if we pull back, all right, and there's no divergence going on here, we probably are just going to be running up to a new high. All right. We have right there 78.56. You come over here 78.52. Technically, all right, how I look at these things, this thing just got burned. So that is that. So I do think we are going to go up to another high. On that high, we're going to have a 15-minute bearish divergence to go off of. And when you see that, you're going to know we probably are going to get that $5 to $8 pullback at least. Again, with the bull pennants. Does not look all too bad. On the downside, if you do pull back, we are paying attention to 460.58 and then 458.24. And on the upside, guys, if you, all right, don't get a sick, nasty gap, but you know, non-farm payrolls ain't too shabby, okay? They come in a little tame right there. They don't cause a massive gap up, but they come in tame. You take out this high, the next level is going to be all the way up there that I am going to be paying attention to. That is all the way up there. Moving on to IWM. IWM, guys, you printed an inside bar. You're really just consolidating in this range. I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's best to stay away from this thing right now. Why? Because you're clear as day in this range. And if you go to the upside, you got this golden pocket. I think the move here is to wait. All right. Guess what? If you're bullish on it, you could take it right here. But there's a chance you come all the way down here to 241. And if you come down here, that is the golden long opportunity, in my personal opinion. And from that point, you could see a move back up. Okay? That would be a decent move to play right there. Moving on to DIA. Guess what? Guess what? break and retest off of these previous highs. What did you also do yesterday? You reclaimed that 9 daily moving average. All right. Well, it's the daily 9 EMA. So it's the exponential moving average. That's the one I prefer to use over the normal moving averages. It gives me a better picture of what's going on. Guess what? You printed another day above there, and you did have that increasing volume on this tiny indecision candlestick. So guys, we have one of these. Either the volume or the candlestick is lying, and I'm gonna call the candlestick's bluff. I think someone took a position today. I cannot say which side they took that position on, but if I had to guess, it was probably a bullish position considering the look of this chart. You just recovered your short-term moving averages. Good thing. Good things typically happen above that guy, at least from what I'm looking at. VIX, we pointed out yesterday, the 15-minute and hourly bullish and bearish divergences are typically what we see before these turning points over here on VIX. What did we get, guys? You took out this low. You printed a bullish divergence here on the 15-minute RSI. What happened again? You also took out the low. Now you have a triple bullish divergence on the 15-minute RSI. To the looks, just going off of my experience here, going off of what I've seen in the past, guys, this thing is probably going to come down here. It does not look like this is typically not what I see. All right. Typically see these bullish divergences get put in, in over little territory, like what we got going on over here. All right. What we got going on over there. What you got going on over there. You guys see what I'm talking about. So that's what I usually like to see. But I will just point out, all right, it does have the bullish divergence, and it could be giving us a warning sign. I told you guys the other day, why is SPY and QQ up so much, yet VIX is not down so much? That is fishy. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. That was fishy. It still is fishy. And quite frankly, I think we're really just going to have to wait on the non-farm payrolls. All right, if you get a tame flash, it's not terrible. Okay, if you get a beat on those non-farm payrolls, that is the scenario where VIX actually does have a shot at getting a big old VIX crush. It still hasn't happened. It's not behaving the way that I thought it would be behaving. I thought we'd be getting crushed, all right? But, I thought we'd be down here by now if SPY was to do what it's doing. It's not, all right? So I'm just going to say VIX is up to a little something, a little cat in the box over there. So that's that. Now, moving on to some of these big boys, we're going to start off with this sexy beast going on right now, all right? You have this downtrend break. We pointed out right here. Well, we definitely been watching Amazon, all right? And we definitely pointed out when it was all the way down here, oversold at a spot that it typically does start getting those bounces at. It was also in the golden pocket. And what do we have a few days later, guys? We are now in the 184.08 to 186.67 zone. This is exactly where we were looking for price to reach. Quite frankly, guys, all right? This thing looks like it's going a lot higher. It can sell from here, but guys, even if you get a topping candlestick, it's going higher. I'm calling it 186.67. That is what I'm looking for over here on Mr. Amazon. All right. I personally de-risked over here on Amazon because, yeah, all right. I did my thing down here. I, made some coin over there. I may have, folded on SMCI. I will definitely say that. That pissed me off this morning, but it is okay. The rest of everything took care of that. But yeah, it still definitely pissed me off that it ate into my profits. I was not excited about that guy. We'll go over that guy in a little bit, right? Moving over here to Apple. Apple, guys, you are getting sellers. You're getting rejection from the 196.38 to 199.62 zone that we pointed out. All right. I told you in yesterday's video, I don't know how this thing's going to go. Either going to go like that or you're going to go like that. I was not sure. I'm just saying, I think Apple still goes up to the high. I don't think it makes sense for it to get all the way back up here and not go up to the high. What I will also point out is even if you have a big boy pullback like that, I mean, it could be a little guy. You could have a little shoulder going on here. You are going to have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And this boy right here is your neckline. You can use that zone or you could use this. I mean, technically, you had this little guy. I pointed out the potential for the inverse head and shoulders right over here. I wouldn't call that thing a right shoulder. That is, you got a very lopsided body if that is going to be your right shoulder. All right, so this is what I say is on the table. Not saying it's going to happen, but if you see that, that is going to put in some bullish structure, and I like it. All right, and that bullish structure will give us a hint towards the future price action. That is Apple for you, folks. Microsoft. Again, not the most bearish looking chart over here. You did not print a bearish candlestick today. You came back, you retested the 9 daily EMA. Guess what? Above there, you're bullish. Okay, good things like to happen. I literally pointed this out in yesterday's video. You got above it. Don't be surprised if you pull back and then you shoot back up. What was I referencing? This guy right over here. You got above it, you pulled back, and you shot back up. I think this thing is going to continue higher. And honestly, guys, I think these charts are still set up to go off of non-farm payrolls tomorrow. Meta. This is something that did put in a topping tail today. Do not be surprised if we do get the pullback. You did push straight up to that 498.76 level this morning, and now you have sellers stepping in. I'm just going to say right now, it very well could be doing something like this, retesting where you broke out from, come all the way back down here to 482. That is your next opportunity over here on Mr. Meta. Okay, you don't have to hold it. If you take in this position, you don't have to hold it for the whole duration of this era right here. You could just take your reasonable profits right here. Okay, guys, this is going to be a decent sized move here. You get buyers here, solid shot. They bring you back up here and test this. You're still going to be in the golden pocket, so you expect sellers. So this is something that I'd be taking profits on in there. No financial advice will be given on this channel, though. Of course, of course. Goog, you broke out from the bull flag yesterday. Break and retest, not looking bad at all. I think this thing is going higher. That's just my opinion, and that's that. Now, on to the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin stonks, all right? Weekly chart, bullish. Daily chart, bullish. I understand you got two back-to-back inside bar, indecision candlesticks going on right here. You had the big breakout. It's all right. It's all right. You're going to have some digestion from the market, and I'm also going to point out right here, you had this little top of this little range, came back and you retested yesterday. It's not necessarily looking bearish. That is something to point out. If Bitcoin does continue its push, that is when we can look over to things like this, CLSK. All right. I don't necessarily like what's going on with CLSK. It's not giving me the follow through that I was looking for. You did get this increasing volume here on this, narrow bar here. You got your indecision candlestick. Positions were taken today. All right. I would not be surprised to see this thing continue its push higher. It didn't really go much higher, but I will say start that push higher. You still have this giant break and retest going on, and I like it. Coin. All right. You did stall out pretty much exactly at the 264.30 level. The high is 263.80, guys. I understand we're off by 50 cents. It's okay. It's all right. It's all good. If you see coin pull back, you look for buyers to step up over here at 239.44. And from there, I think you are going higher. If we just do a little thing like this, a bing, a boom, a pop, a pow. All right, what do you got going on? Right there at the top of the golden pocket, the 0.786 fib, guys. If you are wondering what my settings for my golden pocket are, I know people use different ones. They got the 0.618 to the 0.65. I don't personally do that because of this. All right, I've developed my strategies off of this. I'm going to continue to use this. If you want to know my measurements here, 0.618 to the 0.786 fib. That is what creates your golden pocket. And this is why we use the golden pocket. If sellers are going to step in, they are going to do so right here at the 0.786 fib. And that is that. Now, you hit it with that. You get above 265. We're going to say you have a straight shot all the way up to 282. That is what you're looking for. On to the chips. All right, the chips, guys, you did print this. I'm not going to call it a hammer, but I'm not going to call that a bearish candlestick. All right, you do have, rather heavy volume going on there. You do have the bearish divergence going on over here. But again, this is not a look that necessarily looks bearish to me. You actually can just take the previous high there and you hit it with the break and retest today. So just like the look we run over there on SPY. So that is that. So now, how are the individual chips looking? Guys, NVIDIA, very heavy volume. I'm pretty sure today was the last day to buy NVIDIA before the split and get your shares. Well, you can buy tomorrow, I think. I'm not even going to pretend like I know if it's today or tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow, but I don't know. Regardless, this thing does not look bearish to me, guys. When this thing splits, it is okay to see some profit taking, but that option chain is going to get really freaking juicy. There's going to be a lot of people playing options. We're going to see a lot of wild swings over here on Mr. NVIDIA. Guys, if we get this opportunity to come back here, we take that opportunity. That's that. AMD over here, guys. This is one that I was saying I would just stay away from. But I will point out now, you are in a 3-week range. All right. You give it another week inside of this range right here, and you have a whole month that you have been consolidating in a rather tight range for AMD. All right. Look at it this way. Stair, step, stair, step. This is all just your giant stair stepping upwards. All right. Honestly, this looks like at the end of this consolidation, it's probably going to break up. But if it breaks down, you're watching this golden pocket. But it's something I want to put on your radar. You are getting rejection here at the uptrend that you broke down from. Technically, we do have a break and retest going on right here. And that is something to take note of. That is AMD for you. If you can break above 172.49 and you get a close above there, this thing has a straight shot up there. And that's that. SMCI, this one is a little frustrating. I will tell you right now. But I'm just going to still stick with it, guys. This thing is getting ready to go. I don't necessarily think, all right, I don't think it's going to come down here and take out this low. I think it's going to hold here. If you have, good non-farm payroll numbers, if they, guys, if those come in hot, this thing's probably going to take a dive and put on in another divergence. It just is what it is. But I'm definitely going to say right now, this thing closed out with a hammer candlestick. We know buyers are sitting down here. We also do have this, support going on over here that you're just continuously bouncing off of. I think this thing is getting ready to still launch up. And that is that. On the weekly chart, I would like to see a hammer candlestick put in here. All right. And that is going to require this thing pushing up into tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Regardless, I am bullish into next week on this ticker. But you did reject the daily 9 as, pointed out yesterday. I thought we were going to have a day like this. You did not. So that is my bad. All right. I will take it on the chin. Unfortunately, I had to take it on the chin. that is how that is. All right. Broke up to the new high. Broke and retested the previous all-time high. I think this thing looks rather sexy. Come over here to MU. What do you got going on here, guys? You still are holding above this daily 9 EMA. It doesn't necessarily look bad, and it could pull back here. But if it pulls back, I think it's still just setting up for the higher high. And if it does pull back, you're looking at this right here. Golden pocket test. You look for buyers to step in between 124 and 126. And that is where you want to play this thing next. Now, if you're a momentum trader, guys, you want it to take out that high. From that, could do some things. All right, so there's that. ARM, guys, you're still right here at the upper bound of this channel. That is something to take note of. I wouldn't necessarily, be taking new positions on this thing. I gave my thoughts. You expect buyers here at the lower bound of this channel until broken. You expect sellers at the upper bound of this channel until broken. You're at resistance. You're at this golden pocket. This is where we look for sellers. That is that. Can it get explosive? It can. All right, it could. It's been stair-stepping. It looks like, at some point you're going to get a big boom, or you're going to get a big boom. It's going to go like that, or it's going to go like that. All right, at some point, it is going to do that. And if it breaks down, and today was your high, you look for it in that golden pocket, and that's that. Now, I'm going to just point this out, guys. I don't think it's worth playing these things. Premiums are juiced. AMC, maybe not so much, okay? If GME goes, AMC is probably going to follow. That's that. But yeah, Roaring Kitty is going live tomorrow, guys. That is what brought the hype back in 2020. All right? 2020 and 2021. That is what brought that. No, I guess it wasn't 2020. 2021. That is that. Well, it was... Did it start at the... I think this run started in the 20... I remember seeing it in 2020. So it definitely started back in 2020. But yeah, beginning of 2021, February, I believe, that was when the actual thing happened. Right, beginning of Feb. Yep, that's what I remember seeing AMC at 20 bucks. All right, so that was that. And at the time, it was a lot lower. So there was that. I know it's higher now. At $5, it's not higher than 20 bucks, but yeah. All right. Remember, guys, AMC, they did this. They diluted their stock at some point. That was that. You see how it got up to 400? Well, when I was playing that actually only got up to 70 bucks. So that's that. But GME, guys, it could do some crazy things tomorrow. He has call options. that the dealers don't have enough shares to actually cover. Is this buying just the dealers buying that? I don't know. I think this is people literally trying to squeeze out the shorts, the big boys, the hedge funds, the institutions. That's that. They got the money. Retail guys, I strongly believe, does not have, the money to be doing what we're seeing here. I think, guys, games are being played here, and quite frankly, things could get pretty juicy. They could get juicy. I'm not saying a fresh all-time high, but I am saying the guy can exercise those options, and the dealers are completely screwed. And at that point, I don't know what happens to the thing. Is it going to freaking explode? Like, really, really, really explode? I don't know. All right? His options, his call options, exceed the amount of shares in the short flow. And, I'm just saying, this thing could get really freaking crazy. You see that volume? That doesn't typically get followed by some red. It typically gets followed by what we saw the next day over here. Not saying that's going to happen, but I am, you can at least watch it. I don't want to put it on your radar, but we'll watch it. AMC, I will put this on your radar. If GME goes, AMC is going. I'll make that claim. There you go. Now time for my trade ideas. Well, this one's a little update, so that's that. Oh, Rocket League, look at that. You guys see that pop up? I saw it pop up. Right here, guys, you exploded out. Well, you didn't explode. It was a slow grind. But do you see where that arrow was put in? It was put in on that day. I think it was actually this hammer candlestick. I drew that. You did now break out. So we're going to remove that. You broke out of this small falling wedge. All right. You had the daily bullish divergence, triple bullish divergence, if I do say so myself. Now you have this increasing volume on this move up. I think this thing's just getting started. I think we can expect to move up to 73.66. If it pulls back, it is a buying opportunity off of this trend line. That is that. Fresh breakout. Put it on the radar. BABA also heating up. I like what I'm seeing over here on Mr. BABA. You want to see that daily 9 EMA, come back up there. You see it starting to reverse, starting to curl back up. I think BABA might be getting ready to do a little, Uno reverse on us, guys. You close out the week like this. This will not be a bad look at all. I will like it, and I will consider it. That is that. Kava, guys, you finally are getting that pullback. I will say, insider sold. That is what causes pullback. So beware. But technically speaking, if it pulls back to 80.33, I really like what I'm seeing. And that's that. I'm actually going to put that right there, right? If it pulls back in the zone, I like what I'm seeing. You see where that alert is? That's when I like it. The alert's at 81.50. And that is that. That is what I got for you guys today. I hope everybody has a lovely rest of your day. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like. I appreciate what you guys have been doing. You've been pumping our stock. All right? You have been pumping the channel. Guys, we're creating a beautiful community here, a positive, all positive people all on the same exact journey. All right, it's not going to be the exact same from individual to individual. Everybody has their own strategies, and everybody has their own triumphs. They gotta get over these stumps. All right, everybody has their own journey, but we all have the same goal, and that is financial freedom. And I am happy to be constructing a community of like-minded individuals. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so I appreciate having you guys here. I appreciate you guys helping push the stock. By stock, I mean the Henry James channel here. All right, let's keep it up. And guys, let's keep killing it. With that being said, I'm just going to remind everyone, Amazon looks freaking beautiful going into tomorrow. What is that? What is that? All right, expect sellers in the golden pocket, but holy, this thing looks beautiful. You see Microsoft, holy, the thing looks also kind of beautiful. All right. With that being said, appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.